Hello, Stampin' Buddies. It's Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, in the very cold state of Wisconsin. So Late Night Lori is up after 11 o'clock again, and this is Thursday, February 20th. I did a class this afternoon, and I used parts of this Hello Spring paper pumpkin kit, which is the February kit. It comes with all of these little pieces. So you've got cards that have the different herbs on it, some laser cut die cuts that match. I'm not sure if this is spearmint, maybe. It wasn't listed on a separate card. There's basil, there's chives, and then there's suggested layouts. But of course, Lori doesn't do the suggested layout, especially if I'm going to split it up to do a class, which is what I did today. So I was trying to maximize things because sometimes I don't know how many people are going to be in the class. It's a special group that I do once a month. And these cards, excuse me, these cards actually have design on the front and the back. So what I did was I cut the full card down to be 2 card fronts, and then I add just cardstock that creates the card, and then I create a layer with the 2 parts of the card. Does that make sense? So basically, and I cut them all up. So I don't have one to show you because I cut them all up. All right, so there's this one. So you have enough to do 3 cards of each design. So when I cut them in half, that actually gave me 6. And because I get multiple paper pumpkin kits each month, that gives me even more. So these cards are ready for me to design into whatever I'm going to do them with. And this was another design. So this actually has, excuse me, this actually has like metallic on there. I'm not sure if you can see how that shines. Hopefully you can. I think you can there. So that's really cool. And I pulled out some old champagne rhinestones that I had because it matched. And the group that I had today doesn't really care if I used a little bit of my old stash. And then there was this piece, and we ended up using all of these today. So there's that piece there, and I cut that in half to make the extra cards. You know, I wanted to extend how many cards we could make. So, you know, I just cut it down to card front size, put it on a different base. So I've got the pieces there, and the envelope then coordinates. So I'm going to reproduce this card for you quick because it won't take me very long. But I also wanted to show you something that you can do when you get some of these fancy envelopes. So this one is, you know, a little different because it'll open on the side. But when they've got the decorative inside, if you slice off a side or a bottom and you open it up, you can actually have like designer series paper. So, you know, you would want to probably cut off the part that's got the adhesive on. There's a seam here, so, you know, I would cut that part or put like some ribbon over it to camouflage that. But you could make, you know, a couple of cards by trimming this down. So that's just an idea for you as well. And then don't forget too, we've got these add-on dies, these quarterly add-on dies. So these were called Spring is in the Air dies, and they're $12, I think. So there's dies that work for January, some for March, some for April. I mean, January, February, March. I'm all messed up. So the ones for the February kit were these cutouts for the chives. So you can see how that one would cut this out because there's a stamp with the chive on it. And then this is for the chive flower. So when you stamp that on, you can actually die cut that out. The beehive and the beeve are for the next month's kit. And the heart was the January kit that was for February, if that makes sense. for the Valentine's, basically that themed card kit. So let me get a couple of these things out of the way, and I'm just going to recreate this card really quick. So I get my cards kind of sorted for the people participating in my class. I'm not going to use this basil one. I'm going to go ahead and use up the chive one, and I think I'll just end up accenting it with this one. If that's actually, it kind of looks like my basil when it goes to seed, but it's colored like the mint, so I don't know. And then this will be my circle, and I will take out all my other little bits, and I'm going to use this envelope just like it is because it's kind of cool. So the first thing I'll do is, I've got a piece of cardstock here that's 4.5 by 11, and it's scored at 5.5. So this is what we would call like a hot dog fold because it's long. And I tend not to do this style where they open up because, like I showed you the other night, they don't always stand nice to display them. But I will do them this way so that I've got like a landscape rather than a portrait card. So rather than a portrait card, I'll do it so I have a landscape. So let me just find my bone folder here. I thought I had all my stuff kind of put away from the class, but sometimes it takes me a little bit. So I burnish my fold just so it lays nice and flat while I'm working on it. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. So this is really heavier because it was cardstock designed to be a card front and back. And I've been doing a lot of cards lately, so my glue is running out. We'll see if I can make it through this card. I may have to just run over to my table and get another bottle. So this will go in the front, and it does matter if it's right side up or upside down, so kind of just watch that. And what I try to do is line it up on one side and then just slide my fingers down so I can guide it if it's a little bit crooked, okay? Now, the other thing was this piece. Let me get the instructions again so you can see. This piece here was actually a long rectangle, and I cut them in half. And then there's a shorter one for this one. This is a shorter piece. So you can see that this one, if it was doubled, was quite a bit longer. All right. So I cut them in half so that I would have enough for my participants today, because I didn't want to use these because I want them for another card. So what we did was we just kind of layered all of our pieces. So this will kind of go here, and this will go here, and this will go here once I get everything stamped. All right. So let's go ahead and do our Hello Spring. Oh, and you get a nice little ink spot with your paper pumpkin kits. If you're a new subscriber, you also get a D-sized block, but it's thin. It's not as thick as these blocks. It's about half as thick, but it still works pretty well. So let's go ahead and put Hello Spring on there. And I'm not real happy with that. I think my ink spot is probably too juicy. So I'm probably not going to glue that on. I will probably get another one before we finish that. This is going to be for the inside, but I'm also going to stamp my chives on there. And I pulled out a garden green ink spot from a past kit. And I think I'm going to stamp that off because it's a little dark. And then I'm going to do it so the word chives does not show. But I want to have it over far enough so that I can put the flowers for the chives on there. And that's going to be with the petunia pop. And we'll put that right about there. Yeah, so that petunia pop is really juicy. I could probably have stamped that off as well. So that one will be a little too light, but that's all right. If I try to line it up, I probably will mess it up. It'll be fine. All right. So this can go on the inside of the card. I am pretty certain I'm going to have to go over and get another bottle of glue. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this to the inside. And when you use the glue, you've got a little bit of wiggle room before it sets all the way. I don't like that flower. We're going to give it more ink and hopefully line it up kind of close. That's better. All right, so the inside is done. Except for this little piece here. That was a little frayed. Okay, so then with this piece, I'm actually going to pull in my piercing mat, and I'm going to put the flowers on the chive stems. So one on each side. That's kind of pretty. And then let's see here. I'm going to get another circle. So that's going to go here and here and here. So if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, Paper Pumpkin is basically everything you need in a box to create projects, either several cards or a 3D item, packaging sometimes. So it's always a bit of a surprise, all right? And I'm just going to push some of this ink away from the top of the pad and see if that helps a little bit. The other thing that I mentioned that I do sometimes is I put Versamark on the stamp. See, I still don't like that. So here's what I'm going to have to do. We're going to wash this off. We're going to dry it off. We're going to put some Versamark on it. We're going to tap it again. And that looks like it's going to be better. Let's flip this over, because there's always two sides to the paper. Oh, that's much better. So between the Versamark and moving some of the ink away from the top of the pad, I think that helped. Where'd my cover go? Here we go. So let me get rid of my spoon so that I don't get ink on me. And sometimes when they're new stamps, this one's been used so it doesn't apply, but sometimes when they're new stamps, they just need to be cleaned because there's, you know, oils and whatnot when they process, you know, the manufacturing process. And I love my chamois. If you don't have a chamois, you want a chamois. Trust me, you want a chamois. They actually come twice this size. I cut mine down. And this is an old case from Stampin' Up, but you can do it in a newer case too, like one of these. This is the size that the chamois comes, but I cut it in half so that I can get more bang out of my buck, I guess. And then you can also cut them smaller if you were gonna, you know, personalize it or have it out for people to use, multiple people. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting some of these things together. Let's see if my little tape here will work. Sometimes if you're not careful, it's so strong it'll lift up your paper. So we will put this here. And then this is going to go here. So let's go ahead and stick this on first. So when you hear me tapping, I'm basically trying to force that glue to get down to the tip of the glue bottle. So this can go here. And then, oh, I keep forgetting I haven't put the cap on there. Usually I put the cap on right away. This will go here as an extra herb. This will go here. I think I want that corner stuff to show. And then this, it might be a little crooked. This then I'm going to put up on dimensionals. And you can go crazy with your dimensionals, or you can just be kind of conservative. I'm usually a little conservative. We'll take those backing pieces off. There we go. I love my take your pick tool for that because my fingernails frequently are not long enough to do it and I struggle. So that can go here. And then these are those old champagne rhinestones I found, but because this piece has, excuse me, this piece has that metallic border, I thought the champagne jewels matched it really quite well. So let's just put a bunch of these on. I guess we'll go over here. So I'm doing an odd amount. I got a lot of these to use up, so I may as well put 5 on there, right? Normally I put about 3. Sometimes I do more, depending. All right, so here's my envelope. Here's my first card. Here's my second card. Quick and easy. So obviously, you know, this would just slide in. Now, when you've got gems like this, you just want to watch to make sure that they're not going to go through your envelope when you're processing. So what I usually do is I take another piece that's cut to a card front size. I run it through an embossing folder so it looks kind of decorative. I got that idea from my friend Jeannie, who's on my team. And I thought it was a great idea. It's like, why didn't I think of that? But then I will put that inside to give it a little extra padding so it doesn't break through the envelope. All right, so that's that, quick and easy. And by cutting those cards in half, you basically can at least double the number of cards you can get out of your kit. So if you would like to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, if you don't already, if you would like to place an order for any of the things that I've shown recently, feel free to shop with me at lauriemccari.stampinup.net. This is celebration time, so Stampin' Up! Has a big sale going on. It's only for a few more days, so we've only got 8 days left. And probably the best offer out of everything is this joining offer. So when you build your own kit, if you want to join my team, you don't have to do videos. You don't have to have classes. You can just do it to get the deal, to get the discount. You don't even have to stay joined if you don't want. But for the discount, you know, I joined for the discount basically. All right. So you get to pick $125 worth of product. It only costs you $99. Used to be when somebody would join Stampin' Up! Would send whatever they decided you needed. But I don't know how long ago, but when I joined in 2017, I was able to pick all of my own product. All right. But it only costs $99 plus tax. You don't have to pay shipping. You will get a paper pumpkin kit. You'll get whatever product you pick up to, but not going over $125. So if you wanted to get, let's say, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, that would be more, I think, because I think that's $130 now. Excuse me. So you can't go over that $125. But there's a bonus right now. So with option 2, you can get an extra $30 in product. So instead of $125, you can pick out $155 worth of product. It still only costs you $99. So you could get the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and something else to get up to your $155. Or let's say you don't need that machine. There's also this. You have your choice of one of these 2 marker families and this stamp set automatically. So that's an additional $91 value in addition to your $125 worth of product, your free paper pumpkin kit. You'll get some catalogs and whatnot too, and the free shipping. So it's a great deal. And then the other thing is Stampin' Up! Has this brochure that for every increment of $60 in product you purchase, you can pick out some free product. And this is not even all of the free product now because they added some things a couple of weeks ago. They added some extra things. So I have gotten very many of the things in here because so many of them were so fun. So this is going on right now until February 28th. So if you like free stuff, you want to shop. All right. So thanks for stopping by and watching my video. If you share my video, like my video, give me some comments. I appreciate the feedback. And until next time, happy stamping.